So we have seen how we can have a traversal, how we can create a BST from traversal. Now what we will do today is we will try to realize the algorithm for traversing a BST. So algorithm for traversing a BST. Sorry. So now, since we have seen there are three different algorithms, so obviously I will have three different algorithms for, there are three different technique for traversing a BST. So they naturally we will have three different algorithms for traversing. Now let's try to realize how much complex it will be if we try to solve this problem in a traditional way. So suppose we have a tree something like, say we have a BS tree looks something like this. Suppose, say maybe D and E, and this is say F. Okay, I don't have any more. And say their address, these are these nodes have created dynamically, right? So how the nodes has been created dynamically and how the tree is created dynamically, that we have not discussed. We will discuss very soon, but before that, let's, since we are going through these different traversal techniques, that's why in connection with that we will first realize how we can display this BST with respect to various traversal, and then we will continue with creating, and then we will merge that, so that as a whole the tree creation and the display function can works. Okay, so suppose the address of this node is 100, this is 200, this is 300, this is 400, this is 500, and this is 600. These are addresses. Now if we want to have a say E pre-order traversal, then what will be the order of the nodes? Obviously I will start from A, then I will go to B, and then node left right, so node first done, then this node, and left is nothing, then right, that means D, and then I will come to the C, and then E, and then F. It's very easy. The question is that always remember, we have seen with the corresponding structure that this path is actually a unidirectional. What does it mean? It means that if you see the exactly how node look like, it looks something like this, right? Because it is data part, and these are two pointers, so it points to left child and it points to right child. So that mean so that mean you see in this particular node there is no way to point to its parent. So that's why it is unidirectional. That means if you come from A to B without storing this address of A somewhere, there is no way to jump, actually go back from B to A again. But you see, if you see this order part correctly, we can see here that to traverse pre-order correctly, somewhere I must have to return. What I mean is that, for example, let's take a scenario that this part we have done this 3, fine, and then we have to print C. So printing C means I have to reach to the address 400. If you want to reach to this address 400, there is only one way, that you have to come through this A. Now that means you have to reach to this 100 address so that you can access its right pointer, and right pointer contain address of this C. Right. Now before you reach this 100A, I mean before you reach this node having address 100, you see we have already came to address 200 or 300, because A, B, then D. So we came from 100 to 200, then somehow 200 to 300, and from 300 now I have to go back to 100, so that I can access the right pointer part which contain and 400, that is address of this node. That means somehow we have to store this particular addresses somehow, so that I can go back. Now question is that if you take a iterative approach, this particular traversal is going to be very complex. The reason is that in this particular example having say very few number of nodes, but in a practical scenario maybe we have a thousands of nodes in a particular tree, or maybe in a practical situation maybe billion, it may happen. So when we'll have a billions of nodes in a particular binary search tree, then it will be pretty difficult to apply a non-recursive approach for traversing this BST. So in this situation, recursion plays a very beautiful role, because recursively you can say that okay, I will okay, let's write the recursive solution first, then I think you will understand. So suppose the function name is say in order. Okay, I'm sorry, pre-order. The function name is pre-order. So what I can write, I don't need to return any value, so it's only void. I can easily write void, and then say function name is pre-order, and here what I require, when the pre-order function will be called first time from the main for traversing a particular BST started with the node A having address 100, I have to pass this address, right? As we have seen in case of traversing a normal linked list, we pass the address of the first node, that is head. Similarly, here what I need to pass, I need to pass the address of the first node, that is root of the BST. So you can write that, say for example, struct node pointer root, suppose. So this root represents this one. Okay. And here what I do, you see, the first question will come that where root is pointing. I mean, at the first time when pre-order is calling, then it is pointing somewhere here. Then this root will come downwards, and a time will come, it will go to the null. I mean, what I mean to say that root will first access this node, then according to pre-order, it should come in left part. It will print this B, and it will come in left again, which is null. Right. So that means when root is null, there is nothing to print. I mean, if there is no root is null, that means there is no tree even. No tree has been created even. So nothing to do. If it is not null, then only what I can do? I can print that node where I am standing, and then I can try to go left side. Because preorder say that node, then left, then right. So that means, suppose that you are standing on this node A, right, currently, and you will check that where you are standing. Is it a position of null or some valid address? If it is valid address, then you will have to print this A. That means address of the, I mean, data presented on this address. And after printing that one, what you will do? You will go towards left, because that is suggested by the preorder technique. So here I must have a checking. If root not equal null. If it is equal null, then doing nothing. If it is not equal to null, then only I will do all the steps that I have just said. So I will print the data. Print some, say, print data. Now how I will print that, I am coming later. I am just writing a very simple code. May not run exactly, it is not following the syntax of C language or C++ or Java. And then I have to call this preorder again, because just assume that you are given the responsibility to print the entire tree and you are lazy enough. So what you will do, you are a preorder function. So what you will do, you will print where you are standing right now and call one of your clone to print the left subtree of yours. The similar thing has happening over here, that you will not take responsibility to print everything. You will print only the current node. You have printed this. Now you will call a clone and pass him or her the address of your left child. And that particular clone will have a responsibility to print basically the left subtree whole. And then the control will come back to you, and then you will call one more clone to print all the values that is in your right subtree, and that clone will do in some way, right? So basically you are calling another preorder, which is a clone, and what you will pass? You will basically pass the address 200. Now what this 200 is present? This 200 is present in your left side, because you are standing right now over here. So you will basically pass what? Root left, something like this. Suppose if I consider this name of this one is left and name of this pointer is right, then root left means, if you are, suppose, let's write this situation that this is your say A, and it contain address 200 and it contain address 400. So since it contain 200, that's why it will point the B, whose left is null and right is 300. Right address is 300. That's why it is pointing D, whose both sides are null, because it is leaf node. And in this way continue with the other nodes. I hope you can understand easily. So that means we have called this preorder root left. So root left contains this address of the node B. So after giving this responsibility to your clone, you are I mean you don't have any responsibility right now. And preorder that this preorder clone will actually print the entire left subtree somehow, and it will the control will come back to you. You is this preorder, and then what it will do? You will see that your left subtree has been printed. I'm sorry. You will see that your left subtree has been printed. So you will call one more clone to print the right subtree. So there is one more preorder call. I'm sorry, I've given this dash, but this dash should not be there in a function name. Anyway, so what you will do? You will write root right, and then we'll have this. So what will happen in this situation? Let's try to realize with respect to the preorder function. Okay, so let's draw the tree first again. I mean similar tree, that is A, B, okay, and then C, D, F, and it was given 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600. And okay, so that means let's see how this preorder function will work. So we will discuss this with respect to a recursion tree. Okay, so we will draw the tree with respect that represents the uh, how this preorder function will work. Okay, so let's just write a small name. Preorder function, suppose, is represented by P. Okay, this preorder function is represented by P. So from the main, when this P was called, what was its parameter given? Obviously 100, right? Because currently root is this one, root is pointing to this one, right? So what is given in this particular, yeah, that if root is not null, then you print the data first, because you are here. So this is you, and you have this address 100, and you will see that is it not null. If it is null, then you have to do nothing, because there is no node. If there is no node, what you will print? But if it is not null, and since I asked you to do a in-order traversal, pre-order traversal, that's why you will print the data where you are standing right now. So you will print IA. So let's write this A here. And then what you will do? You will call preorder root left. You see, with respect to this diagram, root left must contain 200 so that it can point this node, right? So that means this one will call another preorder function whose address is now 200, right? So this is number one. I'm just renaming, just numbering this callings, and I'll also returning so that you can understand what is the order of this communication between various clone of the pre-order function. So now see, one of your clone has got this, and since it's your clone, so it thinks in the same way, right? Recursive function, it thinks in the same way. So this clone will also think in the same way as you have done. That means this clone will see, is it not null? Is the root? Because with respect to this clone, the root is 200, not 100. Now 200 is not null, yes, not null. So if it is not null, it will print the data first blindly. So it will print B. Fine. And then what it will do according to the algorithm given? It will just call one of another clone and give the left of this node. So it will call another clone and it will pass left of this address. Now left of this one have nothing basically, right? You can see. That means basically left of B is null. So that means this third clone will get the address null. Right. And this clone will see that address is null. So this condition is validated. Now if this condition is validated, that means in the else part what to do, it's not written over here. Since it is not written, that means there is no responsibility of this pre-order function whose condition will be validated. So with respect to this pre-order function, you see there is no job, nothing to do. That means at the very beginning this pre-function will get this condition will validated, it will come here, there is no other code present. That means the purpose of this pre-order function is completed. So what will happen? Naturally the control will return back to the pre-order function from where it was called. Now from which line this was called, this one called, which line? You see from this line, the left, root left, right. So now you see, assume that you called one of your clone and this clone has returned some content to you, and that clone was your left for the left child. Now what you will call? You will call one more clone for the right child. Same thing is happening over here. You see. So this clone will now call one more clone having P with a valid address, because right side have a some node D, that is 300. Now according to the logic of this in order function, you see if it is not null, then it will print the data simply. So this clone will get root as 300, which is not null. It will print the data containing 300. That is D simply. And then what it will do? It will call the left clone again. So it will call another clone for left child. And the clone that it will get at the address will be null naturally. Again, the result is that there is nothing in the D, in the left of D. I mean, D is basically leaf node. So D is left and right both will be null. So since this clone has got address null, there is nothing to do. At the condition at the very beginning is validated. So basically control will return back. The control will return back to this pre-order function where? Obviously over here again. From this line of this pre-order function, it was called. So naturally it will call here, and then the next line will be executed. Next line of this, that means this one. This line of this pre-order function will get executed, and again another clone will be called which will get the address null again, right? And again for this clone, condition is validated at the very beginning, it will return back, right? It will return back. And then what to do? This clone, if you see, this clone has got return from this one. That means basically this second line. And after this, I have nothing written over here. So the code, the line instruction of this particular in-order function is completed. Sorry, pre-order function is completed. So what will happen? Simply it will start returning, and it will return obviously from here to here, because from this pre-order function it was called. Now this, where, in which line of this pre-order function it will get returned. You see, if you closely, if you are able to remember this strategy, this line, second line, root right of this pre-order function called this line, this clone, right? Because it is right. So naturally, this pre-order function, this pre-order clone will return to the second line of this clone, and second line is the last line basically, right? There is no other lines. So naturally that means I can say the job of this line is completed. This clone is completed. So what will happen? Now the clone will return to the previous clone from where it was called. So the control came back to the root, you see, basically, which basically, why I am saying root, because this is the address of the root. I mean, this is the pre-order clone which deals with this node of this root. Anyway, so now in which line of this particular clone has returned back? Obviously this line, because from this root left, from this, I mean this is actually actual root, you can assume in this way, that is a pre-order for a, printing a, which is calling a pre-order for printing the left subtree of a. That has happened, which has returned back. So now what will happen? This has came. So another pre-order will get, another clone will just call for printing the right child. So that means now this clone will call a pre-order function, again a pre-order clone with right child, that is 400. Similarly, you see this clone will see its address is not null. So naturally this will print the data in the address first, that is E. I'm sorry, C. And then it will call the left child. And you can see left is basically, that means it will call 500. Fine. Again this clone will see that address is not null, so let's print the data first. And then it will blindly call left child, where it will get null again, because E is the left node, you see. So since it is null, there is nothing to do. It will simply return back to this previous clone. And previous clone called this clone with respect to left child, considering left. So right one is left. I mean the right one is, now you have to call, right? Right one is left means right one you have to call. So again another clone will get called, which will get again a null, because ultimately was this one was dealing with E, which is leaf node. So naturally the left and right will be both null, and that means basically again I have a return in immediate return to the previous clone. And where it will return? It will return to this second line, right? That means the job of this whole period are completed. So now it will return back to this one. That means which is dealing with C, you see. So as soon as it will get return over here, where it will return? Obviously it will return to the first line, this line, right? So with respect to this pre-order function, calling this line is left. So it will call naturally, because the control has returned back to this line. Now it will call this one. So that means we will have a call of P 600. 400 right is 600. And this is not null, so this clone will die in the just immediately print this F. I'm sorry, yes, F. And after printing this, it will just go to the left and it will find it's null. It will null. Since it is null, there is nothing to print. Condition will be valid at the beginning, so control return back. And when control return back, then what will happen? You see that after returning by the control, where it will return? It will basically return in this line, and this line will be left. So this line will be called. So that means the right will call again. We can see which will get a null again, because F was a leaf node, so both sides will be null. And since this is null, condition will be valid at the beginning, so immediately it will return. And now control return back from the second line of this clone, so there is nothing left. So basically control will now again return back to this line, because all the lines of this pre-order clone has been completed, executed. And you see again this particular pre-order function will get a return from this one, from the right to the in the second line, in the second call. And there is no other lines in the second call again, because they are all clones. So there is nothing to do over here, nothing to do left over here. So it will return back. And where it will return back? Again in the same second line. And since it is clone, so naturally there is no other statements to execute in this particular pre-order function, and control will return back to main. And you see your pre-order has been created. Now see, if you this is what recursion tree of a pre-order traversal recursive function. Recursion tree of a pre-order traversal. Yes. Okay. So now see, we have only how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where n is equal to 6. So if we have 6 nodes, you see how much complex the communication is, which we basically not realize when we write only these 3 lines of code. But if you want to continue with a non-recursive strategy, you have to, you know, realize this calling and returning strategies for all these different nodes. So if the name when n will become 10,000, you see how much complex it will be, which is pretty difficult to uh, visualize. So that's why we generally use recursive solution, so that we can easily write the code with no complexity, although there is much complexity which is hidden from the programmer point of view. But if you closely watch what's happening, it's actually the situation is something like this. Now, if you're able to understand this pre-order, I think it will be pretty easy to realize what will be the in-order code. So if I write a in-order code, suppose again I'm writing this struct node pointer, say root, okay, and obviously this root not equal to null, this condition will be always there, both in in-order, pre-order and post-order, right? Because if it is not null, then only I can proceed. If it is null, there is nothing to do. Now, what is the difference I will get in case of in-order? In case of in-order, it says that don't need to print this A, rather you go left, print this one and then come back and print this A. Something like this. But ultimately, calling and returning strategy remains same, because it's only say that what is the position of n, but left and r remains same, right? Because that is in case of in-order, it will become L, then N, then R. That is the difference only. But one thing is sure, that you have to go left first and then right. So that means calling pre-order, calling this function root to for root left and for root right, this order remains same. Only the change will happen for this printing data part. Because you don't want to print data where you are standing right now. You want to print the left one first, then you will come back and print the right, print where you are standing, and then you will go to the right. So naturally, the in order call for left will be done first. So I can assume that it will print the left subtree first, and then it will come back, the control will come back to me, and then I will print my data. And then I will call one more in order function for printing the right subtree. So with respect to the recursion tree technique, you will see it is almost same. Maybe the numbering will be different, but recursion tree is same for a in-order function also. What the difference will be? Difference will be only on this particular traversal order, because of the change of order of these three lines. That's all. Even if you go for a post order, I hope now you can easily realize what should be the post order is. In case of post order, we know, in case of post order, we know left, then right, then node. So I will, where I am standing right now, I will not print this one. I will go to left first, I will print the left subtree, then I will come back. I will go to the right subtree, I will print the right subtree, Then when I will come back from there, then I can print myself. So at that case, this data printing part will be basically at the end. Before that, we will have calling for this to in order clone, not in order. In that case, maybe the function name will be post order. The mode the calling of this to function that will basically print the left subtree and right subtree respectively, then print the current data. That's the difference, right? So in this way, we can basically write the recursive solution for traversal of a BST. So today we can stop over here. In the next day, we will see how we can create a binary search tree and then we can traverse this. Thank you.